The summer of 1940. The skies over Britain roared. German bombers, escorted by agile Messerschmitt fighters, pounded British airfields relentlessly. The Luftwaffe, under the command of Hermann Göring, had gained air superiority. The valiant Royal Air Force pilots, outnumbered and exhausted, fought with incredible courage. But it was not enough. The Battle of Britain, a pivotal moment in World War II, ended in a German victory. The impact was immediate and devastating. With the RAF crippled, the English Channel, Britain's last natural barrier, lay vulnerable. German invasion plans, codenamed Operation Sea Lion, swung into action. The German propaganda machine, led by Joseph Goebbels, went into overdrive. They broadcast messages of inevitable victory and urged the British to surrender. The British government, under immense pressure, faced a stark choice: fight on against overwhelming odds or seek a negotiated peace. Prime Minister Winston Churchill, known for his unwavering resolve, rallied his people. He famously declared, "We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds." However, the reality on the ground was grim. September 1940. The English Channel churned with warships, landing craft and transport ships. Operation Sea Lion, the largest amphibious assault the world had ever seen, was underway. German troops landed on the beaches of southern England, facing fierce resistance from British, Canadian and Commonwealth forces. The Battle of Britain had taken its toll on the RAF, but the British Army fought back with tenacity. Despite the fierce defence, the sheer weight of the German invasion began to tell. German panzer divisions, spearheaded by Rommel's Afrika Korps veterans, punched through British lines. London, subjected to relentless bombing, became a city under siege. The British government, facing the prospect of being overrun, was forced to evacuate to Canada. The fall of Britain sent shockwaves across the globe. The United States, still neutral, watched in horror as its closest ally crumbled. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, despite facing strong isolationist sentiment at home, pledged to provide Britain with all aid short of war. The Soviet Union, locked in a precarious pact with Germany, observed the developments with a mixture of apprehension and opportunity. With Britain under Nazi control, the strategic balance of World War II shifted dramatically. The Royal Navy, though battered, managed to evacuate to Canada, denying Germany its use. However, the loss of Britain as a staging ground for future operations against Nazi-occupied Europe dealt a severe blow to the Allies. The United States, separated by the vast Atlantic, faced the daunting task of supporting the resistance movements in Europe from afar. The Soviet Union, initially hesitant, saw an opportunity in Britain's fall. With the Western powers preoccupied, Stalin consolidated his grip on Eastern Europe. He reasoned that a protracted war in the West would buy him time to strengthen the Soviet Union's position. The war, now a global struggle without a clear front line, descended into a complex web of alliances, betrayals, and proxy conflicts. Britain, once a beacon of freedom and democracy, now found itself under the iron fist of Nazi rule. The Gestapo, notorious for its brutality, moved in to crush any dissent. Resistance movements, though hampered by a lack of resources and coordination, sprang up across the country. Ordinary citizens, forced to live under the constant threat of surveillance and arrest, engaged in acts of sabotage and defiance. The cultural landscape of Britain underwent a dramatic transformation. Nazi propaganda permeated every aspect of life, from newspapers and radio broadcasts to schools and universities. Books deemed subversive were burned, and artists and intellectuals faced persecution. The very identity of Britain, forged over centuries of history and tradition, was under attack. The war, now a fight for survival, took on a new dimension for the British people, a struggle not just for territory, but for their very soul.